There is a mind that once looked at the stars and saw not just light, but language. A language that the universe uses to speak to those who are quiet enough to listen. Albert Einstein was not merely a scientist. He was a philosopher of life, a student of human nature, and a man who understood that the greatest mysteries of existence are not found in laboratories. They are found in the choices we make every single day. So today, we are not just going to talk about formulas or theories. We are going to talk about wisdom. Real wisdom. The kind that changes how you think, how you live, and how you treat yourself and everyone around you. And we begin with something powerful. Something that separates truly intelligent women from the rest of the world. An intelligent woman never reveals three things about herself: her age, her income, and her next move. Not because she is hiding, but because she understands that some things grow stronger in silence. A seed does not announce itself before it becomes a tree, and neither does a woman who knows her worth. Now let us go deeper. Let us sit with the words that Einstein left behind. Words that were never truly about physics, but always about the physics of the human soul. Einstein once said that if you want to fly like an eagle, stop spending your time with pigeons. The people around you are not neutral. They are either lifting you higher or quietly pulling you down. Choose your circle not by who is available, but by who is worthy. If your plan does not work, change the plan. But never, not for a single moment, change the goal. The goal is sacred. The path to it is flexible. Too many people abandon their dreams when the first route gets blocked, not realizing that every closed door is simply asking them to find a better one. Do not compare yourself with anyone in this world. When you compare yourself to others, you are measuring your inner life against someone else's outer appearance. You are judging your struggles against their highlight reel. Einstein himself said it plainly: to compare yourself to another is to insult yourself. You are not in competition with the person next to you. You are in competition only with who you were yesterday. Do good, even when no one is watching. This is the most important principle of character. Because the person you are when no one is looking, that is your true self. Every master was once a disaster. Every expert was once a complete beginner. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not talent. It is time, patience, and the refusal to give up. And here is something that Einstein understood deeply: you do not lose when you get knocked down. You only lose when you choose to stay down. The world will knock you down. It is not personal. It is simply life doing what life does. Your response to falling is what defines your character forever. There is a kind of tension that most people carry all their lives without ever confronting it. Einstein had a striking way of framing this: kill the tension before the tension kills you. Reach your goal before your goal fades away. Live your life before life quietly slips through your fingers. This is not a warning. It is an invitation. An invitation to urgency without panic, to action without recklessness. If you light a lamp for somebody, it will also illuminate your own path. This is the mathematics of generosity. When you help another person rise, something in you rises with them. Kindness is never wasted. It is simply invested in a currency that the world pays back in ways you never expect. Life is the greatest teacher there is. And here is its most relentless lesson: if you do not learn, it will repeat itself. The same painful situation, the same broken relationship, the same financial mistake, the same feeling of being stuck. Until you pause and ask yourself, what is this moment trying to teach me? Life is not punishing you. It is educating you. Do not be afraid to fail. Be afraid of never trying. Failure is information. Failure is feedback. Failure is the universe telling you that there is something important you still need to learn. But a life unlived, a dream abandoned before it was ever attempted, that is the real failure. That is the one that leaves a mark not on your record, but on your soul. Take care of your dignity. Guard it the way you guard your most valuable possession, because it is. There are people in this world who will test it, challenge it, try to trade you into abandoning it for their approval. Do not. Your dignity is not negotiable. There are three things that grow more precious with age: old wood that burns long and steady, old books that reveal deeper truth every time you return to them, and old friends who know you at your worst and choose you anyway. Youth is beautiful. But depth, the kind of depth that only comes with time and experience, that is something far more beautiful. A person's downfall begins the moment they start being dishonest with those who are genuinely sincere with them. Hypocrisy is a slow poison. It does not kill immediately, but it erodes trust, it erodes relationships, and eventually it erodes the person who chose it. Health is more precious than any fortune, any status, any title. A healthy pauper laughs more freely than a sick king. We chase money, fame, recognition, and we forget that none of it means anything if the body carrying us through life is breaking down. Your health is not a background detail. It is the foundation on which everything else rests. The real mistake, Einstein believed, is the one from which we learn absolutely nothing. Every stumble is acceptable. Every fall is forgivable. But to repeat the same error without reflection, without growth, that is the one thing the intelligent person refuses to do. In youth, we learn. In old age, we understand. There is a difference between knowing something and truly understanding it. Knowledge lives in the mind. Understanding lives in the bones. It comes only through living, through loss, through love, and through the slow passage of time. Do not fear the enemy who attacks you openly. Fear the friend who flatters you falsely. Criticism from an honest enemy is a gift. Flattery from a dishonest friend is a trap. The wise person has learned to tell the difference. The wise man, Einstein observed, has long ears, big eyes, and a short tongue. He listens more than he speaks. He watches more than he reacts. And when he does speak, every word carries the weight of everything he chose not to say. A winner never stops trying. Opportunity does not knock on your door. It waits for the person who builds a door worth knocking on. Your mindset is either your greatest weapon or your heaviest chain. Every single morning, you choose which one it is. If you are an ocean, do not shrink yourself into a pond simply because some people cannot swim. Your depth is not a problem. It is your gift. The right people will not be afraid of how deep you are. They will bring diving equipment. Anyone can say they care. Watch their actions. Watch what they do at 2 in the morning when things are difficult. Watch what they do when helping you costs them something. Words are easy. Behavior is the truth. If you want to succeed, do not be afraid to walk alone. The crowd is comfortable. Consensus is comfortable. But greatness has always been a lonely road at the beginning, and a celebrated one at the end. Locks are never made without keys. Problems are never placed in your path without solutions. But those solutions require one thing that is increasingly rare in our world today: patience. The patience to sit with a difficult question long enough for the answer to arrive. If you want to understand someone's character, observe what makes them laugh. What a person finds funny tells you everything about their values, their empathy, and the way they see the world. The greatest lesson Einstein said he ever learned was this: he still had a great deal left to learn. That humility, from one of the greatest minds in human history, should stop all of us in our tracks. The moment you think you know everything is the moment you stop growing completely. Your words lose value the moment your actions contradict them. Make your life so meaningful, so full, so engaged, that you simply do not have the bandwidth to count the faults of others. Leave any place where your words are not valued, where you have to think 3 times before you speak a single sentence, where your presence is tolerated rather than appreciated. You are not a guest in your own life. Go where you are celebrated, not merely accepted. It is impossible for a person to learn what they already believe they know. Arrogance is the thickest wall between a human being and their own growth. Never judge the future of a person based on their present circumstances. Time has transformed black coal into shining diamonds. Time has turned outcasts into legends. Every person you are tempted to write off today may be the very person the world writes about tomorrow. Do not give up. The hardest battles are entrusted to the strongest soldiers. Not because life is cruel, but because life is strategic. You were given this particular struggle because somewhere deep inside you, there is the strength to overcome it. Love without action is only a word. Trust without proof is only a wish. And sorry without genuine change is only noise. The real versions of love, trust, and apology require something. They require the willingness to be different, to do differently, and to keep showing up. Learn to be comfortable in your own company. Because no one is permanent. Not the closest friend, not the most devoted partner, not even your own circumstances. Everything changes. The person who has learned to be at peace with themselves will never be truly alone. Small steps in the right direction will always matter more than large leaps in the wrong one. Progress is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is quiet. Sometimes it is a slightly better decision made in an ordinary moment. Avoid those who lie. But if you cannot avoid them, never believe them. And never let their distortion of reality become your truth. An uneducated person who knows nothing is in a better position than an educated person who knows only what newspapers tell them to know. Critical thinking is not just a skill. It is a form of self-respect. Climb the mountain not to show the world how high you have reached. Climb it so that you can finally see the world for what it truly is. Vast, complex, and full of possibilities that are invisible from the valley floor. Still water does not mean safe water. If there are no waves on the surface, do not assume there are no crocodiles below. In life, the most dangerous threats rarely announce themselves. The most important thing a person ever achieves is what they built with their own two hands and their own relentless effort. No inheritance can replace that pride. No shortcut can simulate it. You never truly know what battle the person standing in front of you is fighting. A small gesture, a kind word, a patient moment, a smile that says "I see you," can sometimes be the lifeline that saves a person who is ready to let go. The bad times will pass. And the good times will also pass. Do not wait for happiness to arrive. Do not mourn it when it leaves. Appreciate what is happening right now in this moment, because this exact version of your life will never come around again. A healthy person has 1,000 wishes. A sick person has only one. This is not pessimism. This is a reminder to be grateful, not in some abstract, performative way, but genuinely daily, in the small moments of comfort and clarity that we constantly take for granted. You can always make more money. You cannot make more time. Spend it on the things that will matter to you on the day you run out of it. Stop looking for shortcuts. Start looking for more fuel. The person who looks for shortcuts is looking for a way around the work. The person who looks for fuel is looking for the strength to do it anyway. One of them arrives. The other one is still looking. If you are the smartest person in the room, you need to find a different room. Growth lives at the edge of what you do not yet know. Comfort lives at the center of what you have already mastered. Choose carefully. A wise person can learn more from a foolish question than a fool can ever learn from a wise answer. Because the wise person brings curiosity to everything. And curiosity is what transforms experience into wisdom. Success attracts envy. Progress invites opposition. Being too open, too giving, too available, invites disrespect. Not everyone deserves your full self. Give your best to those who have shown they can be trusted with it. Your mind is a palace. If you have chosen to live in the basement, in old fears, old bitterness, old shame, do not be surprised that the view is dark. Move to a higher floor. The view changes entirely. A boat does not sink because it is in the ocean. It sinks when it allows the ocean inside. You can be surrounded by negativity, surrounded by hardship, surrounded by people who have given up, and still float. As long as you do not let it inside. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. The moment you stop, even for what feels like a very reasonable rest, you fall. Keep moving. Even slowly. Even painfully. Movement is life. One powerful idea, absorbed deeply and acted upon with courage, can completely change the course of a human life. Do not underestimate what can happen when the right thought meets the right moment. Just as a small gap in a curtain allows the whole sunrise to pour into a dark room, a small action, a small act of honesty or courage or kindness, reveals everything there is to know about a person's true character. Take responsibility only for what is genuinely yours. Blindly trusting without discernment is not loyalty. It is self-abandonment. Use your words carefully. Because you never know how long they will stay inside the person who receives them. Words have a lifespan far longer than the moment they are spoken. Choose them the way you would choose something you intend to leave behind. Stay where you find peace. That is your home. Not the address on your door. Not the city you were born in. Peace is the address that matters. Protect your dignity and self-respect by meeting people exactly at the level they are willing to meet you. Not one step further. The person who respects you will walk toward you. The one who does not will show you, and that too is information worth having. The best way to eliminate an enemy is to make them your friend. Not out of naivety, out of strategy, and out of a deep understanding that hatred is exhausting, and that the energy you spend on resentment is energy stolen from your own growth. The worst day of a person's life is the day they begin to think about how to achieve success without earning it. That thought is not ambition. It is the beginning of decline. Treat everyone with basic human dignity. But choose carefully who earns your trust, your time, your inner world. Not everyone is meant to come close. And that is not coldness. That is wisdom. If you want to move ahead, stay calm. In every crisis, every conflict, every moment of pressure, the person who remains calm is the person who thinks clearly, decides wisely, and ultimately wins. Life and time are the two greatest teachers the world has ever produced. Life teaches us to use our time, and time teaches us what life was actually worth. Be like water. Adjust to every container. Adapt to every situation. Flow around every obstacle. But always, always, find your own path forward. Do not read only success stories. They will give you inspiration, yes, but inspiration fades. Read the stories of failure, of collapse, of rebuilding from nothing. Those stories will give you something rarer and more durable than inspiration. They will give you a map. This is the wisdom of Einstein. Not just the man who changed science, but the man who understood that a life lived with clarity, with courage, with kindness, and with relentless self-improvement is the greatest equation any of us will ever solve. If even one of these words reached you today, carry it. Let it work on you quietly. And share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because some things are too important to keep to yourself.